The rise and fall of the Japanese Mafia. Welcome back to Crime Cartel, where we uncover the most fascinating stories of criminal organizations and the law enforcement agencies that bring them to justice. In this episode, we will be discussing the rise and fall of the Japanese Mafia, also known as the Yakuza, one of the most well-known criminal organizations with a rich history and unique traditions that dominated the criminal underworld of Japan for decades, starting with its origin as an organized crime syndicate and ending with its final demise. We examine the Yakuza's clandestine and frequently dangerous environment thoroughly, how it thrived, and the factors that led to its eventual demise. As we dive into the interesting tale of the Yakuza, get ready to be informed, surprised, and amazed. Yakuza gets its name from a bad hand in a classic Japanese card game, 8-9-3, Ya-Ku-Sa. When gamblers and itinerant peddlers joined together in the Tokugawa period, also known as the Edo period, the group was formed. As you will see at the conclusion of this study, the Yakuza have always remained true to their origins. The Tokugawa government employed the Yakuza to assist them to manage the public and acquire information about the local lords during the Yakuza's creation. The young Yakuza often served as festival organizers and labor brokers for government building projects. They still assume these roles nowadays. The Yakuza only ever went underground during brief moments of persecution throughout their history. They have long been tolerated by the government, if not sanctioned. Up until the economy almost completely collapsed during World War II, the organization was subject to crackdowns during the 1930s. This gave rise to opportunities on the black market. The Yakuza changed their focus from labor brokers and construction companies to pubs, clubs, restaurants, and sexual service industries when the economy recovered after World War II. The many Yakuza branches frequently engaged in conflict as they competed for supremacy. Although civilians and government officials were rarely targets of the violence, during the 1960s and 1980s, the Japanese government was forced to step in when the populace felt endangered. Depending on the level of violence in the gangs and their combination of legal and criminal acts, the public's impression of the Yakuza fluctuated between seeing them as rough gems with their own honor code and thugs. The government cracked down on gang fighting in the 1960s because it had enough. Many high-end gangs were broken up as a result of the endeavor, which also compelled the Yakuza to give up gambling and other crimes. They shifted their focus to stock trading, real estate, political espionage, and corporate extortion. They entered the debt-collecting industry as well as other services that were in demand. During recessions, the Yakuza would occasionally shield debtors from creditors. Situations could get violent when both parties involved in a conflict had Yakuza on their side. However, the gangs would typically mediate a settlement between the parties. The Yamaguchi-gumi broke up in the middle of the 1980s over a disagreement over leader succession. A 5-year conflict broke out, resulting in 25 fatalities, 70 injuries, including 4 civilian injuries, and more than 500 arrests. By Japanese standards, this was a significant event, yet it would be tame in comparison to US gang battles. To put things in perspective, there were 70 homicides connected to gangs in only Los Angeles in 1974. The 4 civilian fatalities during the Yakuza battle are exceptional. Non-members are often not attacked by them. Yakuza are a classy criminal organization, especially when contrasted to the Italian Mafia. The Yakuza normally refrains from participating in thievery, armed robberies, and other types of street crimes. They possessed office buildings, their own business cards, and even fan publications in the 1990s and the early 2000s. A rough estimate of 40% of all loans for small businesses went to Yakuza-founded firms. Both real estate agencies and stockbrokers are used by the businesses. 22 Yakuza organizations are sanctioned and recognized by the Japanese government. Some government representatives have requested the Yakuza to clear up scandals and deal with debt problems. Their leaders frequently make public appearances, and they are perceived as brotherly groups. For instance, on the first day of the new year, Kiyoshi Takayama, the chairman of the Yamaguchi-gumi, distributed cash-filled envelopes to Kobe's youth. Yakuza structure can be compared to a 3-tier pyramid. The Oyabun, a father figure, is the recruit's point of devotion within each tier, and he answers to the Oyabun in the tier above him. They are completely dependable. All lower layers pay membership dues to the top tier, and the headquarters utilizes the money to fund activities like stock market endeavors or loan shark businesses. They can use their corporate headquarters to fund extensive fraud in a manner similar to a private equity firm. In Japan, there are reportedly 86,000 Yakuza members. The Yakuza are expanding. While US crime groups have seen a a fall in membership, the Yakuza continue their ritual of getting inked. In Japanese culture, tattoos are associated with crime and misbehavior. This association prevents persons with tattoos from accessing many hotels, resorts, and spas. The Yakuza have had political sway ever since they were established during the Tokugawa era. These so-called chivalrous groups, or Ninkyo Dantai, have the capacity to reshape political party dominance. In truth, Yoshio Kodama, a right-wing activist and industrialist organization with Yakuza links, provided both financial and political backing to the Liberal Democratic Party of Japan, which would not have been possible without them. In exchange, there was an understanding that there wouldn't be any significant crackdowns on the Yakuza. Yakuza would continue to be legitimate in all respects. Another illustration is the 40,000-member Yamaguchi-gumi, who in 2007 pledged their support to the Democratic Party of Japan in exchange for delaying the implementation of a criminal conspiracy statute for a few more years. It is impossible to talk about the Yakuza without bringing up finger chopping. Finger shortening, also known as yubitsume, is a kind of self-mutilation used to make amends. The little finger is cut off right at the joint. The member will be at a disadvantage in future confrontations as a result of the act's decreased grip on knives, swords, and weapons. The offending kobun, or soldier, would rely more on his superior for defense. The act is typically not imposed, instead, as a sign of contrition and in the hope of avoiding a harsher punishment, the offender makes his own decision. Yubitsume might not be enough, according to the boss. Depending on how terrible the act is, the perpetrator may then be forced to do seppuku or be expelled. The term shuniyubi, or death finger, refers to fingers amputated to avoid punishment. The term ikiyubi, or loving finger, refers to the practice of amputating a finger to end a dispute. Sincere loyalty is symbolized by this finger. The man may not necessarily be a criminal. This method has become less common as a result of Yakuza's effort to blend in. Now, banishment and monetary fines are preferred. The majority of us are familiar with Yakuza because of movies. We picture them as tough gangsters who will go to any length for the group. However, ladies were drawn to the genre when Yakuza movies first appeared. Sadly, Misora Hibari and other female Yakuza actors were frequently overlooked by Western academics and movie producers. Instead, they highlighted the male actors, directors, and heroes. At the end of the Allied occupation, Yakuza movies started to appear, and Misora Hibari played several different Yakuza personas at this time. For many of the stories, she even donned a masculine cross-dress. These women portrayed the evolving post-war Japanese identity and aspirations. The frequent dressing of the female Yakuza heroine in red and white, the colors of the Japanese flag, in post-war Yakuza films, reflects this link of the feminine body with the country. Even for their female characters, these performers adopted patriarchal positions, shielding other women, kids, and sex workers. The Yakuza eventually came to represent the modern Japan and its independence. The criminal organization might function in a gray area because of its combination of legitimate and unlawful activity. They present themselves as fraternity and heroes, as well as deadly criminals and brave bandits. A large portion of modern Japan's culture and traditions can be attributed to the lengthy Tokugawa period's tranquility. They include the Yakuza. Without the Yakuza, Japan's development would have taken a different path in many ways. The rise and fall of the Japanese Mafia serves as a testament to the resilience and adaptability of criminal organizations, as well as the determination of law enforcement to bring them to justice. Thank you for watching. To learn more about the fascinating world of organized crime, be sure to subscribe to Crime Cartel. If you like this video, then check out the incredible story of the mother who hunted down 10 Mexican cartel members to avenge the death of her daughter. A tale of courage, determination, and justice that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Click the highlighted video right now to watch this incredible story. We're hoping to see you there.